So we'll just jump right into it. We're going to get into alterations today because I think we need to tell
the world
the good, the bad, and the ugly about alterations.
Our seamstress here recently had that issue too, where the bride kept comparing it to when she was clipped. And she kept saying, when I was clipped, it was so tight, it was so tight. And our seamstress said, well, that's different because
you have to be able to sit. You're going to be in this dress for like 12 to 14 hours.
Yeah.
And she's like, you know what, I'll just do it. This woman comes back a week later with the dress again. I have to refit her because guess what? She didn't know what she was doing. It's one thing to say, oh, I know how to sew. I took a basic sewing class. When you open up these dresses...
This is a wedding dress. This isn't...
Sometimes I get nervous.
I've had people yell at me. My dress doesn't fit. I don't know what to tell you. I didn't know that you were going to get gastric. My stylist did not know you were going to get gastric. So now which is the position that you're putting us in is very difficult. So you are getting your dress made to the size that you need. And most stores do not upsize. That's a big myth.
Yeah.
People think that stores upsize on purpose to make more money off of you. That is
oh my God.
Incorrect.
From the time that you purchase your dress, your weight can fluctuate up to 30 pounds.
Really?
You're standing there for an hour during your fitting. Please do not lock your knees.
Oh, Jesus. Eat something before you come. Hydrate. Make sure you bring water. We're never going to tell you can't have water back there because water doesn't stain. Be 10 to 15 minutes early for your seamstress appointment. Be taped if you're going to tape your boobs. Tape your boobs beforehand. Wear the bra that you're going to wear on your wedding day. Have the shoes on. Be ready to go.
We're kind of also looking for some guests maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have a juicy story about something, did you have an experience in alterations that was dicey?
That was
what do you recommend?
Tell us.
Yeah, please tell us.
Welcome back to another episode of
Brides, Booze, and Boobs.
Fabulous. Welcome back, ladies, to a second episode in one day.
Productive.
So we had a good last episode, so we'll just jump right into it. We're going to get into alterations today because I think we need to tell
the world
the good, the bad, and the ugly about alterations.
Oh, yes. And if anyone doesn't know, if you haven't had me as a stylist yet, I tell all my brides, I'm also a seamstress.
Yes,
so if you have any questions, hair flip, you can ask me.
Yes.
But yeah, so I'm the experienced sewer here.
Sewer. Yeah, she's like a seamstress. Well, not, she was.
Yeah. I used to hate the term seamstress, though.
Oh, tailor?
I liked tailor. Okay. Because I went to FIT. I don't know. Seamstress is very, like, little old Italian lady, you know.
Yeah.
But I always wanted to be
stereotypical.
Yeah, and I wanted to be well, people see me and they're like, "Oh, you're going to be sewing the dress?" Yes. Yes, I am.
Oh, you know what? I never thought about that. You're really young compared to most tailors and seamstresses. Do you think that kind of has an effect on how people view your work?
Not my work, but it definitely catches people off guard because I do alterations in home. So like I'll go to people's houses to do your alterations for you, and when I show up, they're like, oh, like they're literally like, who are you? And then I'm like, I'm Leigha.
Yeah, I guess people have a notion about what a seamstress
and then they're like, oh, I thought you were going to be like older. I'm like, nope, it's me. And then every time I do alterations for someone, I have to explain, I've been sewing since I'm 10 and, you know, I am experienced.
Right.
Like, this is second nature to me, so you can trust me. But they do. I mean, once you see me pinning, like, that's
they know.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's crazy. Interesting. I like it though because you're like kind of like here I am and
it's a dying art. I think
anyone
who's young,
alterations.
Anybody who's young and is looking to do something like maybe non-traditional or you like fashion, I highly encourage you to teach yourself how to sew, and because it's a dying art, really.
Yeah. You can make a lot of money in it too.
You can. I mean, if you really work at it, there's money there. I mean,
well, because it's so hard, and it's very hard to find a good seamstress these days.
It is.
For bridal.
Especially for bridal.
Because most people don't know how to work on bridal gowns. It's hard.
Well, bridal gowns, I mean, a lot of people are also concerned when they hear the price of altering a bridal gown.
I don't think people realize the amount of work.
There's 6 layers at least in a bridal gown. At least.
And that's kind of like why I wanted to do this episode, because it educates people on what to expect when you go, whether it's your bridal gown, whether it's your bridesmaid's dress, or whether it's your mother's gown. I will say we've gotten a lot of pushback from moms on the price of, and everyone's prices are different, so let's not even really talk about prices, but I would say to assume most seamstresses are anywhere between the 500 and 1,000 mark.
Yeah.
And that's in the reasonable competitive range.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the seamstresses where, bigger stores or that are in like the 1,500 or over 1,000 range. I'm just talking about normal, everyday, not doing anything crazy.
And
I'm not talking about adding
gowns.
sleeves. This is just your normal, like, I'm not adding sleeves. I'm just getting a regular dress, hip hem, bust waist, hip hem, bustle.
So why don't we do a little myth busting for alterations?
Yeah, let's do myth busters.
Hit
What's
me
a
with
big
some
myth?
myths.
How many points are on a bustle? People think it's just one.
It's not one, for sure. And there's so many different
It could
bustles.
be one.
It could be.
It depends on the dress, and it depends on the bride. But
it's usually not.
Are you a size 2 that has like hardly any train? It's going to be 1 point. But do you have a ball gown? Yes.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
It's
like,
gonna be,
do you have more do you have like ruffles on the bottom? Just like, don't forget, do you have like almost like what is that, like an English net where it's like very soft? Like that all has to get pulled up, otherwise you're gonna be tripping over it.
I will say I've done a bustle before that was like 32 points.
Oh, I believe it.
32 points. And it is what it is. So what are you gonna do? Not have your train up?
Yeah. I mean, listen, you don't have to get a bustle. If you are concerned about the pricing of a bustle or whatever the case may be, you can always get the train taken off the back of your dress.
Removed,
and then you don't have to pay for the bustle.
It's worth it, though, if you ask me.
I think it's worth it. The bustles are usually pretty.
Most people don't even know what a bustle is.
Oh, that's true. You should explain it to them.
A bustle, when you buy a gown, it's going to have a train. And most people want a train.
Meaning the long part of the back of the dress.
Yes.
Let's put this into layman's terms so people are not like, wait, a train? I mean, I assume most people know, but you never know.
Yeah, so a bustle is after the ceremony or even after the cocktail hour when you want to put that train up, or even after pictures, whatever you want to do. It's up to you at that point. If you want to put the train up, you can, because it has little loops and little buttons. Or ribbon. There's multiple different bustles that you can do, but at that point you can put your train up, take it down again. It's totally up to you, and I think it's totally worth every penny.
I think it's worth it too. I had a bustle. The whole bottom of my dress was tulle, and honestly, I don't remember how many points I had. It was definitely probably more than 5. So, because I remember them pulling it up in like different areas. But my dress was also just the one, like I didn't have like like not layers, like ruffles or any kind of tiers or anything like that.
Yeah.
So it was just like the one layer with the train of tulle. So I remember she pulled it up. But I just think that they make the back of the dress too. Like they just look pretty and, They just look nice, especially if you have lace on your train. The way that they pin it up, then the lace just falls, so it like falls like on the hem of the dress. Like it just looks so pretty. But keep in mind, it's not. They don't just. It's like a puzzle. Like they have to put it together.
Oh, it's
not.
It's a craft.
Yeah, it's a
when
thing,
you do a bustle.
So
that's draping.
And,
that's draping. I went to school. I went to college to learn how to drape. Like it is an actual talent and art, and. When we say that it's 20 points per or $20 per point,
right?
Like you're getting a master of their craft doing a drape on your dress. They're making it a completely different dress at that point.
Right, exactly.
So
people don't realize again the time and work that goes into this. They think that they are just pulling up the back and sticking a button on. It's not in a loop and then that you're done. Sadly, I've seen bustles made of safety pins, and I thought that was bizarre.
So the wedding I just went to in Vegas, I guess my cousin decided to have her bustle done with different shoes. She had heels on. And obviously when you take the heels off, the hem is going to be longer.
I don't think that girls realize that either, because then they're tripping over their dress. They wear, let's say she comes in, she does her alterations with 3-inch heels before you finish that story. 3-inch heels. Then you're at your wedding and you're like, let me take my shoes off.
That's 3 inches.
3 inches now is on the ground. You're tripping over your dress because you did your she hemmed your gown to your 3-inch heel. And then people are, I don't understand why I'm tripping over your dress. Well, you're tripping over your dress because now you took your shoes off and you're 3 inches shorter than you were when you did your hem.
Well, that's exactly what my cousin did.
Yeah.
And then she gets there, she has her sneakers on that she's going to wear for, you know, the reception. And she's like, this is so bad. This is so wrong. I can't dance like this. I can't dance like this. I'm like, well, good thing you have me here, but I had to put safety pins in her dress to pin it back up the right way. So I literally did a bustle on the fly with safety pins. Yeah. I mean, you couldn't really see it because, I mean, it was a satin gown, so I tried to do it underneath.
Right, yeah.
And then she even had me, like, I literally took up 5 inches in the front on her dress too, because she wanted it a little bit higher, a little bit above her, like, toes. Because she wanted to be able to dance and not trip on her dress. And
that's another thing you need to tell your seamstress. Do you want the hem to be floor length, or do you want them to be able to see the tip of your shoe?
Yeah.
Because that is an inch or two difference.
Highly recommend floor length.
Yeah. I mean, I did mine floor length too. But funny story, this actually happened to me at my own wedding. I had my dress hemmed to my shoes that I had bought, which were like 2.5 inches because I didn't want anything crazy. When I got to my reception, TMI, I got my period and I was really bloated and my shoes were too tight and I was like, I'm so uncomfortable, I'm not wearing them. Yeah. So I wore my flats. Well, fast forward to me walking down the aisle, I am legit tripping over my gown because now my gown is too long. That's not the seamstress's fault. That was my fault because I should have had either a pair of backup shoes or something, not even thinking that I would be tripping over it, but I was definitely doing the kick walk. Like hard under my dress because I was like, if I fall over, I'm gonna lose my shit.
What about like the expectation of alterations making the dress perfectly fit your body?
It's like glue. There's not. First of all, I do think that the expectations are very high for girls to be like, I want this dress to be ridiculously tight and I want it to be so like I can't move. Well, then how are you going to move on your wedding night? Like, let's be honest here. Like, how are you supposed to move if the dress is so tight? How are you supposed to bend? How are you supposed to kiss people? How are you supposed to dance? Like,
so as a seamstress in this industry, the one issue that I feel like I run into a lot is when a bride wants her gown fitted to her, she has expectations in her head that she's going to look several sizes smaller than she actually is, which is the issue I get a lot, where it's like, oh, well, my waist is supposed to be tinier, or like this needs to be taken in more, but I'm not supposed to make it so that you can't breathe. I'm doing it to your body.
Yeah. Our seamstress here recently had that issue too, where the bride kept comparing it to when she was clipped. And she kept saying, when I was clipped, it was so tight, it was so tight. And our seamstress said, well, that's different because
you have to be able to sit. You're going to be in this dress for like 12 to 14 hours.
Yeah. We talked about that too, like where it's like these dresses, like they're, like if you have like a dress that has a low plunge or a netting or like an illusion neckline or something, you know, you might need assistance with keeping that dress to your body. Like, you don't honestly think that, like, J-Lo did not walk on the red carpet without tape on her. Like, that dress was taped to her. Like, that's why these dresses, these girls look at these people online.
Move. Our bodies move, and so do our dresses. It's not paint. It's not spray painted on your body.
Right,
so
exactly.
The dress is going to move. And with the mesh, I mean, it's nice to have that illusion because it's like an extra protection. It is. It sometimes, you know, is structurally there for the dress. But I have a lot of times just cut the mesh out of like a deep plunge just because brides don't like the look of when it does get, you know, it starts to jut out on the top, like by your neck. So, but that's totally okay too, as long as your seamstress says, yes, this dress will structurally stay.
There are things to help you keep these things in place. Yes. We have them right here at the
Our booby bar.
Let's see, where is it? We have tape. It's literally right here. Oh, that's the corset one. I don't know. It's around here somewhere. But we have... Oh, here it is. Right in front of my face. The smart tape. And it's clear. You would never know this is on your body. It's amazing. I've used it many times just from wearing regular clothes to the shop. And I'm like, okay, this won't stay. So let me put... I mean, Andrea's taped her pants closed.
Yes, I have.
Blowing up Andrea's spot.
The seam just busted.
I don't know how.
And it was on the leg, like on the side, not like on the... They're wide leg pants. It's just...
Crepe wide leg pants on the side. They are crepe.
That's the issue.
Yeah, exactly. From Target. And for some reason, I don't know how, but just the seam, just right down the seam line, opened. I still wear them, though.
Yeah, she does. I tape them for every couple of weeks.
Why don't you have me sew it close?
Well, because we keep telling her, but she's always wearing them. She won't just bring them in.
Because I that's not, like, my first thought when I'm going to work is, oh, my pants. You know what I mean?
True.
It's
Let me
like...
bring my pants so everyone can fix them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the tape is like, honestly, is your friend.
Your
Bridesmaids. You know, don't forget too, like, yes, the seamstress is fitting it to your body, but again, like, we've gotten girls that have come in and gotten like high necked or like halter chiffon bridesmaid dresses, and it's like, okay, well, we can lay it as flat as they can possibly get it, but you have boobs, like, your boobs are gonna move, and you don't, you know, it's gonna move, like, there's I don't. Sometimes I just think that people come up with very unrealistic expectations as to what the seamstresses can do, and they're people, and they're not magicians. Like, they can't make you smaller. Yeah. They can't. You know, it's the dress is gonna fit the way the dress fits.
Yeah, like, if you are a size 16, I'm going to fit the dress to a size 16.
Right.
If you're a size 2, I'm gonna fit it to a size 2. It just is. It's not supposed to look not like you. You know, it's supposed to fit you, and it's supposed to be your dress that you bought. So another thing is, a lot of people come in here, and as a stylist now, people come in here and say, oh, I like this dress, but I don't like this sleeve, and I don't like this, you know, this part of this dress. And I highly encourage people that if you are shopping for your gown, fall in love with a dress that is what you want off the bat, and not like, I have to do all these customizations.
Unless you want to do customizations.
It depends. Because sometimes, you know, if you're like, oh, I want to completely remove this strap, and I want to add this sleeve, and I want to do this. So you're talking now about a completely different gown.
Right. And you have to be willing to pay for that, though.
Oh, that's like, a lot of money.
That's not going to come without a cost.
Yeah.
So it's okay to do the customizations, but just realize that in your head, that if you love the basic gown and your thing is like, I want to add sleeves,
you have to love the foundation of the gown.
Right. You have to love the foundation, but you have to know that customizations cost money.
Yeah.
For a seamstress to put a sleeve on a dress, let's say if the dress is strapless, she has to build an entire armhole for you. She has to open that whole dress. She has to build the sleeve out. She's not just slapping a sleeve.
That's a new dress.
That's a new dress. She's not just slapping a sleeve on a strapless. On a slapless.
That's like a tongue twister.
What she said?
But then a sleeve on a strapless.
Also, if you are looking at a dress and you're looking at the style lines, so like the princess lines, and for those who don't know what that is, from a designer standpoint, the seams are the style lines. Right. So if you're looking at your butt in the mirror and you see like 2 seams going down like the center of your butt, that isn't, you can't change that.
Right, that's the way the dress
is made. It starts at a pattern. You can make customizations, but you can't change style lines.
No.
And a lot of brides will come in and they're like, oh, can we get rid of those lines? This isn't your dress then.
Right, exactly.
If you want to change structural things about the dress, like if you want to take a, say you want to take a high neck dress and make it off the shoulder, you can't do that.
Right. No.
That's not your dress.
Right.
You have to look at something else then.
Yeah.
And our job as stylists is to show you a dress that's similar to what you like, but in the style and the silhouette you want.
Right.
But a lot of brides will come in and or purchase, say, bridesmaids dresses, and they're like, oh, but I want to make this off the shoulder, but that's structurally and physically not possible.
Right.
Like you said, we're not magicians.
They're not.
We can work with what we have.
Right.
But so adding straps or sleeves to a dress is easy. It's just pricey because now you're making another dress. Yeah. And you have to buy the fabric.
It's easy meaning that they can do it, but it's not
physically
easy
possible.
Yeah, right. It's physically possible. It doesn't mean it doesn't mean that the job is easy. It just means that it's possible for them to do it, but it's going to come at a price because it is a lot of work. Yeah. So,
I have worked in other bridal salons before where we had stylists who would pull me out of my department, which was Alterations, and ask me to just tell the bride that I could do something, like I was capable of changing, like, say, what I said before, a high neck dress to an off the shoulder, and I had to constantly tell this one person that is not possible. Right. I can't do that. So you're showing her this dress, you're trying to sell her a dress that I know she shouldn't have. Right. This is not your dress. I'm sure there's another dress in this store that is for you, but that's not it.
That's not the one.
I don't like stylists like that try to push dresses just because, you know. Like you have to figure out what your customer wants and help her in that aspect. But
Yeah.
it helps to have some regard of what Alterations is, have an idea of it. Yeah. And I think when you are going shopping for your gown, it's important to consider the Alterations price. Okay. Because I've had it asked several times before, oh, this dress is $2,000. That includes Alterations, right? No.
No.
Not even. No.
Yeah, the Alterations are never included.
Well, because that's the craft. You're purchasing the product.
Right.
And then after that, you're paying for an art. Like, that is someone taking a dress and making it yours, customizing it to you, to your body. Every dress is going to need alterations because no dress is going to fit you perfectly.
Exactly. No, so. It's not, I mean, there are girls that come in here, and they need like a strap type, something like that. But it's never
very rare.
It's very, very, very rare. But there's usually, there's usually always something, a hem or something that has to be done.
Oh, yeah, almost always a hem, unless you're 6 foot.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we've had girls come in here, and they're very tall girls, and they bought the dress right off the rack, and we're like, crap, you don't even need to get a hem.
Yeah.
Like, it fits you perfect.
Yeah.
But they'll need, like, a strap tightened or something like that. So 9 times out of 10, you're always going to need something.
So I would say account for that in your budget.
You have to account for it. So like you said, if you come in and your budget's $2,000 and you have you're buying a $2,000 dress, and you're like, oh well, I thought that my alterations, I didn't account for that. Well, unfortunately, now your budget has to be $3,000 because you just bought a $2,000 dress. So
yeah,
I would estimate again, depending on where you go, anywhere between like $500 and $1,000. Could be more. Could be $1,200. It really just depends on what you get.
What you want, yeah.
That's just standard. Again, I want to reiterate, standard alterations. I feel like that's pretty competitive across the board. Nothing added. Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. Should we say it again?
One more time for emphasis.
One more time for the people in the back. Nothing.
What's another myth?
Yeah, what's another
alterations?
How much sleeves costs and like the work that goes into making a custom sleeve.
Yeah, I mean, again, like your sleeves could cost. It depends on what the dress is and how they have to. If there's already an armhole and you already have a strap,
well, you could purchase a sleeve. Some of our dresses have purchasable, sleeves. You can make them detachable. That's the fun part sometimes with dresses.
You just snap them on.
Snap them on, and then if you say you have an off the shoulder like strap at your reception, if you're like, I want to dance, I want to raise my arms. Just rip those bad boys off from the buttons.
Right, exactly.
That's my favorite, when you can customize your dress like that.
Yeah, that's the good thing about the Maggie dresses, too, because a lot of them come with sleeves now, and they have different types of sleeves, whether it be like a puffy sleeve or a straight sleeve or...
I love when you can make a dress
flowy. Yours. Exactly. Like, that's the best part. But no, these things come at a price.
They come at a price, and sometimes it's just not doable. So your stylist needs to be your best friend and guide you in the right direction.
And you need to be extremely honest with her.
Extremely honest with your stylist.
Yeah.
What about
because we're going to be honest with you too.
Yeah, communication with the seamstress.
Yeah.
It's very important for you to communicate with the seamstress. It's also very important for you to allow a seamstress to do her job. And I understand, we've talked about this in the past, I think in TikToks maybe. I understand that like Aunt Becky has sewn a button onto your jacket when you were 12, but she by far is not sewing your wedding dress. And please leave Aunt Becky home.
This ticks me off if we want to get into this.
I don't want to be mean, but oh my god. Like
we want to get into this.
I know. It's such a, like, if you're in the room with a seamstress and she's doing her thing and your mom or your aunt or your sister or your cousin is standing over the seamstress.
Telling me what to do.
Right, telling them what to do, telling them, is this going to be like this? The seamstress is going to immediately, because anybody would do that. Let's say you're working in a retail environment, for all you retail people that work out there, and your customer is standing over your shoulder telling you how to do your job. What's your first inclination? Oh my God, this girl won't back up. What if you work in food service and someone throws a hamburger in your face because they're pissed off because you didn't put cheese on it? You're going to get upset because this person is now telling you that you're shitty at your job and you don't know what to do. I think that people forget that these are real people.
I do have a story.
Oh, Jesus.
In my previous place of work.
Yeah. Leave out the names.
So, yes, my previous employer. I worked there for a while and was the alterations manager there. And one time I had a bride come in And she was totally great. She was totally down for whatever I needed to do to her dress. She told me what she wanted, and I'm like, I'm pinning it for you, so you're going to be able to see exactly what this dress looks like as I'm going. Great. So if there's something that you are like,
don't like,
you have a question about, tell me. Like, speak up.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I'm like halfway through with her hem, and I'm telling them the pricing, because I always try to tell pricing as I go. And the mom looks at me and goes, you know what? I'm going to sew it. You just leave the pins in there. And I was like, I physically can't do that. You came here. Like, so you're not going to pay me at all today. I just pinned your dress. Mind you, a fitting takes an hour. So the pricing includes that time.
Yeah.
That's an hour of my time that I'm spending at this craft. So you're telling me, you know what, just leave the pins in there. I'm going to take it home and I'll sew it myself.
That's crazy.
I tell her, no.
Did you charge her for the time?
I told her I have to take all the pins out. I'll get fired if I let you leave here with this dress with all these pins in it. So she's fighting with me about it, and she's like, you know what, I'll just do it. This woman comes back a week later with the dress again. I have to refit her because guess what? She didn't know what she was doing. It's one thing to say, oh, I know how to sew. I took a basic sewing class. When you open up these dresses...
This is a wedding dress. This isn't your
sometimes
shirt that you bought
I
from
get
Kohl's.
Nervous opening these gowns.
I can't... There's been times that that I know for a fact that I've heard the seamstress come back and say, I am nervous about doing this dress. Either the girl... It was usually some sort of crazy weight loss situation. Yeah. And the girl was... I have to tell you, it's been a couple times where a girl has gotten gastric and not told us that she got gastric, and then bought a dress that had sleeves, and then we were like, oh my god, now how are we going to work with her, because they get the gastric after they picked out their wedding dress. These are things that you really kind of, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't get gastric, you shouldn't get weight loss surgery.
You just have to be completely honest.
I just think that you need to be honest.
Because we're all here to help you.
Right.
We're not trying to screw you over.
I've had people yell at me. My dress doesn't fit. I don't know what to tell you. I didn't know that you were going to get gastric. My stylist did not know you were going to get gastric. Yeah. So now the position that you're putting us in is very difficult.
And this is why, if you wonder why we take measurements so that, you know, we know that we ordered you the correct size. Dress. Yeah. And if you have to just be upfront and honest with us if you have a weight loss plan, or, you know, if not, and you just happen to lose a ton of weight, you got to call us.
You have to let us know.
You have to let us know.
We do ask, like, are you going to be losing weight? Yeah, like, what is the deal? Because, you know, tell us. Be upfront with your stylist.
If you wait till last minute, you're screwed. I mean, you're not getting another dress.
Yeah. And let's reiterate a couple of things. I don't think any store, I'll speak for a bunch of stores here, because I don't think any store would do it. Once you purchase your wedding gowns from a store, those stores put your orders in with the designers. We don't have 8 times out of 10. There's no stock. So you are getting your dress made to the size that you need. And most stores do not upsize. That's a big myth.
Yeah.
People think that stores upsize on purpose to make more money off of you. That is incorrect. We don't, we're not. So you know what? I shouldn't talk to other stores. We are not upsizing you to upcharge you. It's the same. Unless, again, like, you lose a ridiculous amount of weight, and then the seamstress is like, oh my god, this is a way bigger job than we originally thought it was going to be.
So if people think that that's happening here, though, no,
that's not.
We don't even have, our seamstress doesn't work for us. She comes in.
Right, exactly.
She comes in for our brides. Yes. Yeah, it's her own. Yeah. Like, we have a third-party seamstress, so it's not us saying, oh, we can get money out of this girl.
Yeah, we're not getting money out of you.
So you can trust us on that.
Yeah. But if you are, what was the thing that we were saying before that went into that? I just not lost my thing, but we went into why.
Sizing and measurements.
The measurements, we were saying about how, like, we take the measurements, but no, there was something else.
Oh, about shipping dates. How long it takes to ship to us.
Right, like the dresses. So when you put the orders in. Yeah, we put the orders in, and then we, but regardless of that, the stores put the orders in, and then they're made to the size that you need.
Oh, yeah.
They're not hanging in stock wherever. There's no stock. So you're getting a dress that's made for you. You can't call us in 7 months and be like, by the way, I lost 100 pounds. Can you order me another size? No. Yeah. We can't.
Unless there's enough time still for your wedding date.
But you can't purchasing. You can't exchange the dress because the designers won't take it back. We can't do anything with it because we already have samples in the store. You don't want to have 2 samples. You can't have that. So most stores will not do that.
So from the time that you purchase your dress, your weight can fluctuate up to 30 pounds.
Really?
Yeah.
This was information I actually did not know.
Yeah, because that's 2 sizes.
Wow.
30 pounds you can lose or gain. Well, no gaining. I mean,
Try
unless
not
you're,
to.
yeah, because you can't let out, but you can take in.
Out, yeah. There really isn't that much room inside the dresses anymore. I believe at one time
it's like 1 inch,
right,
2 inches,
right,
at
exactly.
Most. So yeah, 30 pounds is you can lose up to that. So when I went shopping for my bridal gown and I had my dad come with me, which if you don't know about my dad, go back
Watch
a couple episodes. But so I picked out my dress and my dad was there and he goes, okay, nice. And he asks my stylist, as if I'm not a stylist or a seamstress myself and don't already know all the questions and answers. He asks my stylist, but what if she happens to lose like 30 pounds?
Right.
Like, can she take it in? First of all, Dad.
Right.
Do you not know who I am? First of all. But also, don't say that to someone.
Right. Yeah.
So anyway, but yes, 30 pounds you can lose, no more. Yeah. And then, but that's also not ideal. You don't want to.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, well, like for our store, it is a little different because like Tatiana has said, like I can go if it's a strapless, she can go down a lot of sizes. Mm-hmm. It really depends on the dress and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And we have dealt with girls that have done weight loss or pregnancy, things like that. So there are circumstances, and as long as you just need to find a seamstress that can work with these things, you know. Yeah. But you really do need to be like super upfront with your stylist because, you know, you're really just causing yourself a disservice at that point. Yeah. Like you're really, at the end of the day, coming in here and yelling at us that you've gained or lost weight, I need a new dress. We can't do anything at that point.
That's why we
there's
have a contract.
Nothing. Right, exactly. That's why we take your measurements. That's why we have a contract. That's why you sign the contract. You know, it's tricky, and we understand now that you're frustrated that dress is not going to fit, but at the end of the day, we can't control what you do when you leave the store.
But we're also still here to help you.
Of
no
course.
matter what.
That's what I'm saying. We can't control what you do when you leave.
So it helps when you don't yell at us.
Well, yeah, that's true. We don't really get yelled at a lot, but there have been girls that have said, yeah, of course. And that happens in any you know, environment where you're working with the public and stuff. And I get the frustration. I get, you know, your tensions are high because it's your wedding. Mm-hmm. But in order for us to help you, you need to be upfront with us. So if you're going to get gastric, well, I don't want to say don't get gastric right after you get your wedding dress.
I think if you are getting gastric,
you should get it and then
you should wait a little bit. Like usually we say 12 to 14 months to purchase your wedding, like before your wedding date to purchase your gown.
I think that you need to wait to push your wedding down. If you know you want to get gastric because you want to be a size 8 or a size 10 or whatever it is on your wedding day, and that is your goal, the year before is not the time to do it. So now you're going to need to push your wedding.
Because you're like leaving everything up to fate.
Right. Because
you're just hoping and praying, crossing your fingers that you're going to, you know. A
lot of times it works out, but a lot of times it doesn't. We've had girls come and we're like, oh, crap. Yeah. Crap. That one dress, I don't even, well, the seamstress didn't wind up doing it. She put it on. The dress fell completely to the floor. I was like, this isn't even... I would have to probably rubber band her 8 times. She lost so much weight, but it happened to be strapless, and it wasn't an issue. Yeah. It wasn't a huge issue.
I do think that there's always a solution. Always. There's always a solution
to it. There's always
something
that you can figure out, but sometimes,
cause yourself less of a headache and, you know, have like a seamless...
Yeah. What are you looking at?
There was like a weird guy outside.
Oh. I think this is a bad place for you to sit.
It is a bad spot for me.
You need to sit on Andrea's side.
I can't. Well, here, let me tell you what the issue is. It's not so much that there's people outside. I see double because you see the reflection in the window first, and then you see the person, and you're like, wait, what? So, like, when the guy looks like he's coming left, he's really going right. So I see, like, this, and it looks very bizarre.
But you're a people watcher. So.
I am a people watcher. But I have to. That's why we saw the car accident that day.
Mm-hmm. That's why.
That's why. We see some weird things outside this front window. Like that guy that licked the glass that time.
What?
We were doing the runway, and he came over to the front window and licked the glass.
I was busy busting my ass for that runway.
Who did that?
At a different store.
Oh.
That has happened to me. Where I was working, and little teenagers come over and pull their pants down and like press their butt up against the glass.
Super invasive
and unsanitary. And like, please don't do that. I know. And I'm just standing there. I'm like, really? That's the last thing I want to say. I'm like, we have cameras.
Wow.
I should submit this.
You should have put that on Facebook.
I know.
Viral TikTok.
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
I was busting my ass for the runway, so I was not up front.
Oh, that's right. No, this happened towards the end.
Again, I was busting my ass for that runway.
I don't remember. I do remember that. You and Gianna were breaking a sweat.
Yes, we were.
Don't look at me. I'm like, don't look at me.
Me and Gianna felt some type of way that day.
I remember. What else? What other myths do we have?
As a seamstress, do you...
Oh, buttons are gonna break. Go on.
Oh, I was just gonna ask Leigha what else, like,
Oh.
Like, because I feel like you have more experience with expectations versus reality for alterations.
Oh, one thing I need to mention for fitting appointments, which no one would believe this, because I didn't believe it until I was a seamstress or a tailor for bridal gowns. You're standing there for an hour during your fitting. Please do not lock your knees.
Oh, Jesus. And bring water or drink water with you.
You need to eat something beforehand. Do not try to keep your morning skinny.
Oh, Jesus, yeah, don't.
I have had too many people pass out on me during
We've had
fitting
people pass out here, too. Yep.
And now even when I am standing and having someone, like, fit me, because I obviously can't do it myself, I am constantly worried that I'm going to pass out. Like, because I've just seen it happen too many times.
I felt like I didn't think I was going to pass out, but I felt like that because I've seen people pass out here. We did a TikTok about this too. Mm-hmm. About it's very important, eat breakfast before you come, eat lunch, whatever time your thing is. Yeah. Make sure you eat, make sure you hydrate because you are in that dress state. It's not like the day of. You're literally standing straight. She's like, stand straight up. So you're standing straight up. Then she's like, relax yourself. But you're turning, like you're doing all these motions, but you're in one spot.
It's the locking of the knees for me because the first time it happened, it was a bridesmaid. And she just completely fell backwards off of a pedestal. And I couldn't even grab her in time.
Right.
Thank God she didn't hit her head. It was too late. I couldn't, I'm on the floor. I couldn't grab her.
Right.
So I was a wreck. I was like, I don't know what happened. Like, are you okay? Are you diabetic? Like, what just happened? So she was totally fine. She was a young girl getting her prom dress altered. I went home that night and I said to Justin, my fiance, I was like, I don't know what happened, but I was like in tears. Like, I don't know how he's a nurse. I'm like, I don't know how you do your job. Like when there's an emergency, I freeze. I completely freeze, which I've gotten better with.
I hope so. We've had emergencies in here. I'm a little slightly nervous. We've had girls pass out. There's Leigha, like, zip right out the door.
No, I don't go out the door. I just stand there like, what am I supposed to do? Yeah. And then I like panic. I get flushed, and they always ask me, "Are you gonna pass out?"
You're looking at her to help, and she's like, "I can't help you."
I know, but I have gotten better because now I know what the cause is. Okay. So I went home to Justin, and I was like, "I don't know how you do what you do. I don't know why she passed out." And he's also in the Army, and he's like, "This happens in the Army all the time. When you're standing in formation, if you lock your knees, you'll just see soldiers dropping like flies, like dropping. Yeah. And then like." If you're standing in formation, no one's coming to help you. Because you're standing there and you can't lock your knees. And they'll stand there for hours, especially in basic training, hours, and they'll just drop.
Why does that cause people to pass out?
No blood circulation going back to your brain. I didn't know that. So now that I know that, every time I have a fitting appointment, I say, please don't lock your knees. Bend your knees every once in a while. If you feel like you're going to pass out.
Just say something.
Or if you don't feel like yourself, like you're getting dizzy, say something to me before it's too late. Because they won't say anything. Right, because then you
can be like, hold on, let's take a break.
Yeah. No, they don't say anything to me. We have a fan in ours
because ours is a little room. So, well, it's not little. I mean, the room's like a decent sized room. But it is a room and you're in there and there's really no air circulating in there. And we put the fan on, like, for the girls. I tell Tatiana all the time, I'm like, just keep the fan pointed at that section. And if the girls if they're cold, they'll just say, I'm cold.
Yeah. I think even in her own space, she has a fan going.
You need to have it. It's like, it's almost impossible to just stand there for that long. Like I said, I mean, I remember mine. And mine, we did at the old shop in the back. So it was a huge area that we did it in. But I just think that it's super important.
This is a new unlocked fear for me, that when I'm standing for a long time, I'm like, gotta make sure my knees aren't locked. Because
so what do you just could keep one knee like bent or something?
Bend it and alternate. You just gotta like make sure that blood flow is going back to your brain.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
It's scary. It scares me. But so I've had a lot of brides not tell me anything, and the next thing I know is I know the warning signs now, so I don't get as freaked out because I actually also ask throughout my appointment, how are you feeling? Do you need a water? You know, like.
Right, yeah.
But when you're trying on dresses, that's not a concern because you're changing,
no, we've had
you're
girls
walking.
do it while they're trying on dresses.
Passing out?
Two girls, yes.
During their fitting, like not a fitting appointment.
No, during their try-on appointment. Two girls, actually it might even be three now that I'm thinking about it. Because one of them was in the dressing room.
But was it during like...
It wasn't a fitting.
Trying on dresses?
Yes.
Wow, not just trying on their dress.
Even a model
because what happens is, yes, we had a model that almost, she was like, I was like, please sit down. Yeah. Like, she looked like she was going to... The dresses are heavy.
Yeah.
They're, and it's hot. This isn't what's going to happen necessarily, although I did almost pass out on my wedding day, but let me tell you the story in 2 seconds. But these girls did not eat. They could be I don't know what the situation was, but that's why we did the TikTok. Eat something before you come. Hydrate. Make sure, bring water. We're never going to tell you can't have water back there because water doesn't stain. I'd rather you get water on a gown than anything else. So we will always offer water in the store.
I would recommend not drinking coffee the morning of your appointment. I mean,
it could make your anxiety high.
That's me, though. That's a personal thing.
It's really just it's a personal preference about the thing. But yeah, girls have passed out or almost passed out on the while they're trying on the dresses. It's, you're That's running crazy. Around, you're getting sweaty, you're getting hot. If you're prone to sweating, it could be something like that. Like, who knows? And don't forget, too, you're trying on dresses, your excitement level is higher.
Yeah.
So it could cause you to get, like, a little, like, sometimes, too, I've noticed with myself, just, like, in some social situations, like, I'm excited, and then I feel like, am I getting a little anxiety
It's almost like
here?
The, like, adrenaline rush.
Yeah, your adrenaline's
rushing.
Down. Yeah, like, I'm excited, and then you don't realize that you forgot to eat, you forgot to drink, or whatever.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I don't take my own advice because when I tried on bridal gowns, I did not eat that morning, even though I knew I should have. But I didn't feel like I was going to pass out because I feel like I already knew. Like, I had an idea what I was going into. A lot of brides, this is your first time trying on dresses. This is your first time for all of this, and you don't know what to expect.
It's true. You don't know what you're going to feel.
But it's best to even just bring a granola bar with you so you have something. We always have food here, too. Like, if a bride's going to pass out, if you need to eat something, say something.
We have everything from
don't be embarrassed
by cheese, fruit cups. Yeah. Like, we have all sorts of stuff. And we keep it stocked not only for ourselves, because we're always, like... The problem is, as a stylist, and I'm sure there's other stylists out there, you are running around all day, and sometimes you're like a hairstylist. Like, you don't get that chance to eat on days when it's busy. So I always keep snacks in the shop for all the girls. That way, if they get hungry, I am the best. But just saying.
And they're good snacks.
They're good snacks. Like what do we have? We have popcorn.
Oh, we have a lot.
We have a lot. Sun chips, popcorn.
We have Nutri-Grain bars.
Nutri-Grain bars.
All different types of cheeses.
All different types of cheeses because
nuts.
That's good. We have nuts,
chocolate-covered
raisins,
pretzels.
chocolate-covered pretzels,
chocolate-covered almonds,
regular pretzels, chocolate-covered almonds. We have M&Ms.
So
oh no, we stopped at peanut M&Ms, but those were good. But then we got sick of those.
Yeah, no, we were just eating them.
Yeah, we were just eating them like crazy, and we were like, all right, this isn't a snack anymore. This is like becoming like meals of M&Ms.
Meals of M&Ms.
M&M meals. And then we have like the fruit cups.
Yes.
We have so much stuff back there.
We have lots of water.
Oh, we have a huge giant thing of oatmeal.
Yeah, I need to start eating that.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I miss breakfast, I'll make an oatmeal.
I always make the oatmeals here too. Just because, like, if you're at home and I forget. But, like, if someone's going to pass out, don't worry, we got
you. Say something. A lot of brides get embarrassed. Don't be embarrassed by the way your body functions. And it happens more times than you think.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's what I have to say on passing out. Don't do it. It scares me. But, is it a question?
No.
No.
It was our giveaway winner.
I just didn't,
Speaking of questions, I would love to hear some that our listeners have.
I would love to hear some questions, too.
Especially alterations questions, now that you know that we have a seamstress on deck here.
Yeah, I mean, I think that those, I think, are the important questions because it's like what to know prior. And we actually, again, like your alterations appointment is not a gathering to look at your dress, by the way.
No.
Let's keep that, I just want to, hold on, I just gotta fix myself. I'm gonna fall into the booby tape, by the way. bring one person with you.
You
don't even have to bring somebody with you, because honestly, it's really not that type of appointment.
No.
You're in the room, you're with the seamstress. It's not, you can bring a friend, but you don't really have to.
And the less people, the better.
The less people, the better. Because this isn't the time for...
It's also not the time, like, the dress doesn't fit you yet. It doesn't look like it's supposed to. So have a big reveal when it's all done. Yeah. Save the big reveal for the big day. Have whoever you want come with you for your initial appointment.
Right.
Your initial, like, finding your dress. That's important. For that, I do want to also point out, if you can't say yes to the dress without a certain someone, like your mother there or your grandmother being present,
bring them with you.
Bring them with you to every single appointment. Because if you have, like, it's a whole moment when you are getting ready to say yes to the dress. And if they're not there, then you're missing out on that moment, you know? Because then you're like, oh, well, I have to wait, I have to come back. But those emotions that you're feeling in the dress on the spot there, we pop champagne when you say yes to the dress.
It's the moment.
It's
That's
the moment
the whole thing
that makes it. And if your family's not there...
Wait, there are girls that have to come prior by themselves. That's a different story. That is a different because they're like, I can't bring
the social anxiety.
Exactly. But you're not going to get that moment twice. So if you're going to do that, you come with the people that you need to come with.
Yeah.
If it has to be yourself and like one friend to pick out your dress, that's fine.
Yeah.
And then we'll absolutely set up another like little appointment for you, but you really should be
just make sure the important people are there for
I'm looking for something on here too.
That's okay.
Continue.
It's important to have those special people there when you say yes to the dress, or even when you go to every appointment, because if you don't, you're going to miss out on like those happy tears that you're feeling the first time you're in your dress and popping the champagne when you're feeling that overwhelming emotion.
Right.
And then when you come back, you're going to try it. Yeah, it's hard. Well, you could get it twice, but the likelihood of it, I don't know.
I mean, it's slim.
Yeah, it's
twice. You only get a first moment once.
I know. When you put the dress on, you get those shivers.
Yeah,
you look at yourself and
you'll
get
happy.
Yeah,
like it's not that you won't be happy, but I don't think you get that. You can't have in any situation. I just don't think you can have that first moment feeling twice.
Yeah, when you first see yourself in the dress, and then you see your mom crying or your grandmother crying, and everyone goes in for a group hug. I just recommend having that person there with you. You don't want a chance not having that
I totally
moment.
agree with that. Yeah.
So when it comes to when do I do my alterations, you need to reserve 4 to 6 weeks.
And some seamstresses are more, no?
Oh, yeah.
Depending on...
I used to always go by 6 to 8 weeks, but then here it's 4 to 6.
With us it's 4 to 6,
and
but that's because she has people working under her.
Yeah, and then once you go for that initial fitting, you have to maintain your weight. Like, your weight cannot fluctuate after your first fitting.
And if you know that you're on something like medication, or you did a gastric again, not to go back to that, or whatever it is, and you're losing weight, again, you have to be open with your seamstress, because you don't want them to continually open your dress. It's going to start to look like it was worked on.
Yeah. Yeah, once you open it up more than twice, that's it.
Yep.
It's going to look worked on, because...
It is.
Yeah, because you just have to keep going in there, and it's just not worth it, especially if you go in there and... Say you gained weight after your initial appointment. Now you have to go in there and unstitch the whole dress again. But then also when you're making it larger again, because we save some seam allowance in there if we're taking it in. When you have to undo it, you're going to see the stitch marks.
Right.
So just do your absolute best to not gain or lose after that initial appointment. And if you feel like it's something, if you feel like it's something that's going to be like of concern to you, like you're on a medication,
right?
Be honest with us, and we'll try to fit you in within like less time to get your dress done. So that's crucial too.
It is. It's these things for, your alterations is important. People don't realize.
It's the most important part.
It is the most important part of it, because that is what is that's what's fitting the dress to you.
You can buy a dress, but it's just a shell.
Be patient with the seamstresses, because a lot of times, I will say, it is a communication barrier. They're there to do a job and to do it. They want to get you in and get you out, because it's a long time for you to be staying there and whatever. And they have a million other brides. People don't realize that these seamstresses are working on so many brides at one time, and they have to do their job. Everything is so structured with time.
Yeah.
And they don't, it's hard when you can't really stroll into an alterations appointment like 15, 20 minutes late, because it throws off every single bride after you. Mm-hmm. So be 10 to 15 minutes early for your seamstress appointment. Be taped if you're going to tape your boobs. Tape your boobs beforehand. Wear the bra that you're going to wear on your wedding day. Have the shoes on. Be ready to go so that when your appointment starts, then that's it. And realize, too, that if she's running behind, it's probably not something that she did. It's probably because another bride pushed it, and now everybody gets pushed. It's a domino effect.
Our seamstress, for instance, works 7 days a week.
She works 7 days a week from like 7 o'clock in the morning till 8 o'clock. 8 is her last appointment. Yeah. So that means that her last appointment is 8. She's working an hour for her last seamstress appointment. So that's not
it's like
until
13, 14 hours.
She's working a long day.
But you know,
it's not an excuse though. I don't want us to make it like we're making excuses them, but this job is not for the weary. I would never be able to do what they do.
Devil's advocate, though, you know what I mean? Because I know, like, a lot of people have these expectations of seamstresses, but just from their end to kind of provide
they're not trying to be unfriendly. Most of them are friendly, but yes, if you're, again, Aunt Becky's standing over them, telling them what to do, they are going to get, like, what's happening. I need to get you in. I need to get these pins in. I need to get this dress right.
It's almost
they're
like
trying
robotic.
To concentrate.
Yeah, and
it is robotic.
And most seamstresses aren't 25-year-old Caucasian women. So like a lot of them
That's a nice way of putting that. True story.
Because I have worked with so many seamstresses, and all of them come from different places. So I've worked with someone who is Chinese, who doesn't speak very, very much English.
Yeah.
And she comes across as rude a lot to
it's a
lot of people.
It's a communication.
And then people will come to me because I'm the one that speaks English. They'll come to me and complain about her. I'm like, you have it all wrong. Like, she means the best. Like, she's so sweet.
Right.
She just doesn't know how to communicate that with you.
Not
like she says, because her English isn't the best, but she is the best at what she does.
She is.
So, and that's with all, I've worked with Chinese, Russian, Hispanic, all of them. So, and no one speaks English usually. Yeah. So.
Or again, like you said, like the communication gets lost.
It does get lost.
It was good that you said that, and I don't want to blame this on this isn't like
their background.
It's not. It is, but it isn't. But like yes, like if we're getting upset with them, we need to realize that other cultures are not like ours.
No.
So when they come in and they say the way they feel, if you were in there, like if it was you over there doing that, you'd be like, wow, this is so out of the ordinary. Like why are they it's almost
it's just like a culture
It's just a cultural thing. And we don't realize that because we're so used to I don't know how I want to broach this right now. I feel like we're so used to everyone having to kiss our ass that we don't understand when other cultures come in and that's not the way that they do. So I just feel like I hope I don't get backlash for that because I just feel like I hope not because I don't mean it in a negative way. I just mean that we need to be more open to not everyone is like us.
Well, you're not being insensitive. I think you're being very genuine. So that shouldn't open you up to backlash.
I hope not because I really am being like, but there's times where I really do feel for Tatiana. I do feel for her. She really does have a heart of gold, and I feel like there's times where yes. I'm not saying she doesn't make mistakes or other seamstresses haven't made mistakes. I've worked with other seamstresses too, and we've gotten backlash, but I just feel like they really are just doing their job and they have so many people and they're just trying to get everyone in and they know it's your big day, but they need to do their job. In their head, I'm sitting here and I'm doing a job. I need to get it done.
A job that they know well.
Right.
And you don't need to explain to her what to do.
I've had to teach our seamstress some American slang and like English words sometimes. So
because she doesn't know. So like it's again like they're talking to her like I wanted to say this before too. Like you're standing in there again like you're trying to say, well, why can't it fit like this? Why can't it fit like this? And she's trying to explain to you, I can't make this happen. Don't forget that 50 other brides just said the same thing to her too.
Yeah.
So where I don't disagree that sometimes they could be a little bit harsh, I think she's just trying to say, or any of them are just trying to be like, we just can't do that.
And
like
it's just
don't forget they say it over and over and over again. In any occupation, what's the first thing that people say? Oh my God, the things that customers say to me. Like have that in the back of your head.
Yeah.
But you can ask her, just be like, is it possible? But if they say no...
We should create a booklet of things
oh my
to read
God, that's
before
actually a good idea. So that's basically it.
For alterations topics.
Alterations.
For now.
For now.
We can always do another episode if you have more questions about alterations.
Absolutely.
Because I feel like there's never
enough
too much.
Yeah, there's never too much. There's never enough
we
questions.
can go on and on and on about this stuff. All of it. From getting engaged, planning a wedding, picking out your dress, doing alterations. This is a whole industry for a reason. Like, it's a lifestyle.
It really is.
So
yeah, DM us our question.
Any question at all.
Post them below.
Post your questions below.
So
you can email us. You could DM us on Instagram.
Yeah. We're not going to go to the Instagram. We'll link everything below. Andrea will link everything.
Yeah.
And then on the Spotify, I don't know how you do that. Andrea knows how to do all that good stuff.
I'll just put it in the...
We'll just link it. DM us, Instagram us.
I would say the best thing to do would be like either post on YouTube or send us an email.
In the comments.
We see all of our emails.
Yeah. You can send the emails through the website and then we'll get them. Like we get them
go
in
on
separate
to
emails.
It's ivorymain.com and you can send us an email. And
tell us what else you want us to talk about.
We're kind of also looking for some guests, maybe.
Yeah.
If you have a juicy story about something, did you have an experience in alterations that was dicey?
That was.
What do you recommend?
Tell us.
Yeah, please tell us. Come on in.
Slide into our DMs.
If you're interested in being featured on our podcast, that's something that might be coming shortly too.
Yeah. We'll definitely want guests, so that'd be awesome.
Yeah, and we have lots of episodes coming up, so stay tuned.
So with that said, peace out.
Goodbye.
Yeah.